Hi everybody, Whitney with Girl Friday Crafts here. Welcome to our YouTube collaboration, Creative Christmas DIYs. I feel like I should have a more seasonally appropriate shirt on than my Hamilton t-shirt, and my little pumpkin t-shirt still sitting in the background. But there's some Santa wrapping paper on the floor over there if that makes a difference, and I've been working on Christmas stuff all week. So I'm really excited to be with you all here today and doing this project. As usual, I love to do recordings and things like that and try things that I have never done before. So if you ever want a good laugh, try and catch me on a live sometime, because I get crazy ideas to do things on lives when I have no idea what I'm doing. So this video is no different. I am going to make a puffy ornament. So I'm not the world's best seamstress, but I love those ornaments that look like they're hand sewn but are actually just glued together. So we're going to attempt that. I'm going to adjust my camera angles here. Sorry if the motion makes anybody nauseous, so that you all can actually see more of my workspace and a little less of me. There we go. So we are going to start off with two different kinds of fabric. So I just have this, I found like a whole stack of this at a thrift mall, and I had to buy it because it was just, I don't know, nice and had nice farmhouse country vibe. Really great for holiday, because you can add a lot of color to it. Really even great for spring and summer because it's got some of the green in there. So I've used it quite a bit. And then I have some muslin because I actually don't have a lot of light neutral fabric, which is something that I actually need to get some of. I have my glue gun, I have my scissors, I have a small chalk couture transfer. So this is part of a minis set. They come in an 8.5 by 11 transfer. There's 12 of them, and these are super cute for like cards and ornaments and things like that. So we're going to put that on the muslin, glue the muslin onto the fabric and stuff it. And then I have just this little red and white twine to make the hanger. And I have this. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not. We're going to see. I've got these, I don't remember, Hobby Lobby, Michael's somewhere. I have a whole stack of them. They all have different words. I haven't used them yet. Go figure. So the first thing I want to do is kind of measure everything out, because I've been not doing that as of late, and that's not really working in my favor. So what I would like, this has some stuff on it. Looks like somebody might have had this part of this fabric glued down somewhere at some point. So what I would like is about a 5 by 5 roughly finished product. Oh, and I have some polyfill. So polyfill is in a big box down here. It's actually, I don't even know that the polyfill itself is open. I might have to open the container, but we've got a big old box of polyfill. So let me cut this. But I'd like about a 5 by 5 finished product. Maybe I should go 6 by 6, because this is a 3 by 3. The transfer is a 3 by 3, so we were going to want the muslin piece to be a little bit bigger than that. So let me get my little marking pencil here, and we'll flip this over and mark on the inside. I like my chalk mat here because it's got a grid on it where I can do measurements. I feel like I'm working at Joann Fabric, in the, where they measure the fabric for you whenever I measure like this. It's kind of fun. But I am going to rip it because I want to keep that sort of tattered look on it. And I am going to actually cut this sewn hem off here. Maybe. Might have to actually cut that. I'm not sure that I can tear because I don't have much leverage there. Be curious to see how long this project takes me. I do things that I think are going to be super quick, and no, not so much. Okay, so I'm 6 that way, and then we'll go 6 this way. Actually, no. So if I fold this in half, which is what we're going to end up doing, I almost messed this up before I even started. No, that'll be good. Okay. I wasn't thinking I needed to keep the whole piece together. So that will be good. See, this is why I don't do this kind of stuff, because it requires measurements. And my friend Patty will tell you, because we scrapbook together a lot, and there are just times where I will try to cut something, and I mean, you would think it's just hilarious, because like I'll measure it a gazillion times and I'll still cut it wrong. Trying to get all the little pieces. So this muslin is, I'm pretty sure, all in one big piece. And so what I'm probably going to do here is I'm just going to do this way first. I'm just going to cut. I don't want to unfold it all right now. I'll never get it folded back. Make sure I'm just cutting one layer. I am just gonna cut to the fold line that's already there. This will be bigger than what I need, but that's okay, because I'm gonna want to tear this too, so it has those rough edges. Okay, so I have that piece so that I can fold this back up, and for right now put it back in this lovely little bag that it came in. And yes, I did get this off Amazon because I am in the middle. I prefer to buy craft supplies from craft stores, but I am in the middle of show prep, and honestly, the less time I can spend running around looking for things, the better. So sometimes the ease of Amazon wins. Alright, so this piece is about it's about 5.5. But it's going to end up going this way. So I am going to trim this down just a smidge, because it is a little bit wider than 6 inches. And I'm trying to think about whether or not that's actually going to end up being a little too big for an ornament. I might want to cut that down even smaller. Maybe cut it down to 5 like I had originally thought about. So we'll cut it to right there. Keep it. All my strings here, which we can trim off when we're done. Okay, there we go. That's probably a little bit better size for an ornament. Okay. So then I want my muslin piece. That's 5, so maybe make the muslin piece about 3.5. Sure. Oh yeah, that'll fit fine. Okay, I can cut this down this way too to make it 5 even. That'll take a little bit off. I mean, I know there's no like true right size for an ornament, right? Like an ornament can be whatever size you want, but this is hard to cut or hard to tear when you're on the edge. You don't have a lot of leverage. Okay, there we go. So now take this and fold it back in half. Okay. And so this is about 3.5, and then we're going to make it 3.5 by 3.5. There's a little wrinkle in it, and I do have a small heat press that I could use to get that out, but I'm trying to move kind of quick today, so we are just going to measure it so that I just cut that wrinkle out. So there. All right, so now we have our fabric pieces. So we're going to have this like this, and that's going to go on top of it, and then so my dilemma is that I don't want to cut it down so much that when you put the polyfill in, it won't actually stay together. It does look a little big, but I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is. So we are going to go ahead and chalk the design on the muslin. Now, if we were working with something we were going to wash eventually, I would be using chalk ink, but since this is not going to be washed, I'm going to use paste, and we're going to fuzz the, well, actually, I don't have to fuzz the transfer. When you're working on textiles, you really don't need to fuzz your transfer. It's totally fine. So we're going to put this down, and I've been working with shimmers, but I think I want just a regular red, but more of a deep red. So I'm going to use this Napa, kind of a Merlot color. This was a color of the month last year sometime. I'm going to get my squeegee. This is actually it's called a multi-tool. It's got the squeegee end, and then it's got this end that is really good for like scraping paste away from the inside of your jar. So if you have a jar that's kind of getting older, or maybe a jar that's like accidentally got stored on its side, and you have a lot of paste sort of clumping on the side of the jar, you can use the multi-tool to kind of scrape away that paste, get it back in the jar, use your distilled water to reactivate it, and then you're all good to go. Okay, set that down. Very slowly lift up our transfer, and I'm just going to stick this on the backing sheet. Now, I normally have water with me when I chalk so that I can get transferred in water right away. But I'm hoping this will move as quickly as I'm thinking, and I don't need to be too worried about it. So I did not get out my drying tool. Probably should have, so that we could dry this and then glue it. But I'm going to turn on my glue gun, and then I'm going to open the polyfill. I feel like I haven't opened a container of this somewhere. I was sort of surprised when I got this down, and I was like, this isn't open? Like, because I use this for snow in our Christmas village and all that kind of stuff. So actually the open container, now that I think about it, is probably in with my Christmas decorations. Okay, so that is actually dry enough for me to be able to do what I need to do with it. But we gotta let my heat gun glue up. My glue gun heat up. It's been that kind of day. So while we're doing that, I'll go ahead and decide on how long I want the hanger to be. If I am making ornaments and I am attaching, a hanger like this to it, I prefer it to be kind of long, because I struggle with ones that are really small, being able to get them actually over the branches of a tree. So I'm going to tie a knot in this, even it out, and tie a knot so I don't lose my length. And then we'll glue this into the ornament before we start, to glue it all the way around and put in the polyfill. We'll have that. Okay, so we have my glue gun heated up. Now, I really need 10-inch glue sticks for this gun. But right now, all I have are the 4-inch ones. Ooh, that was a lot of glue. So I'm trying to go all the way around just to make sure that we get a good seal, for lack of a better word. So trying to move fast so the glue doesn't dry on me. Also careful so I don't burn my fingers. I mean, I know it's not really crafting without a few glue gun burns at some point. So I'm gonna come up here and just put just a smidge of glue there. Kind of hold it down a little more. There we go. And that is crooked. So not always the most careful. Let's see. So from there we've got 2 rows. Okay. So I'm gonna come here. Ooh. A little bit, and see if I can't tear at least some of it. There we go. Wish I knew what this fabric was. Alright, that should work okay. It'll be alright if it's a little wider at the back because we're going to be filling it and gluing the sides together and everything, so that might actually help a little bit. That kind of evened it out a little. So then we're going to glue in our hanger, and I want to make sure, to get it a decent amount from the top so that we don't accidentally have it come out. And I kind of want to make sure that this doesn't stick to my mat. And my fingers are sticking to it. I keep trying to throw things in my trash can, and it's not where I normally have it. Okay, so now it is time to glue the sides together. So let's see, how do I want to do this? I'll do it this way first. So where's my middle line? I want to make sure I know where my middle line is. So with this fabric being plaid, and I have a line to follow, kind of come along the line. And I know that the glue will dry if I try to do both sides at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and glue this side. And then take my glue gun and we'll go along the line on this side as far down to the bottom as I can get. I want to make sure I leave a little room open at the top for the polyfill. Okay. And now we stuff. So, well, I should probably make sure that's dry. It's Gorilla Glue, so it does dry pretty quickly, but I don't want to force it apart either. So we're just going to take the polyfill, and you know how much you stuff it, how thick you make it is, you know, really up to you, kind of a personal preference. Also depends, like if you have a shape that you're trying to fill out. So, you know, one of the things that I might try to do is use my cutting machine and cut like a star or a tree or, you know, a round ball ornament. And so, you know, then you're trying to fill out a shape. So, you know, you probably want to use how much polyfill you use in that situation. You might end up using a little bit more. And so I'm gonna try to hold this down so that my edges are level with each other as I apply the glue. And push this all down. Again, trying not to burn my fingers too terribly much. I'm going to add a little glue to this corner of the muslin right there so that it just stays down some, just so it doesn't get caught. You know, you're packing ornaments away, things get caught and can tear. And then I'm going to, I can't really angle the camera to my trash can. That doesn't really matter. So then I'm just going to take my scissors and just go right along the edge and try to cut off all these little fabric tendrils that we've got here. And there you go. We've got this cute little ornament. No sewing required for those of us who, you know, I mean, I can crochet, I can cross stitch. I want to learn how to embroider, but I don't know, something about doing something like this where I have to sew and my brain just, and I have a sewing machine and everything, my brain just kind of shuts off. Now you could also make these two-sided, so you could do a different design on another side, or I could have done my handmade by. I might actually still be able to do that. I have a chalk culture transfer that says handmade by, and you can, you know, put your name or something on there. But these would make cute little gifts for coworkers, neighbors, you know, if you're in an ornament exchange, that kind of thing. Kind of simple. That took, let's see, less than 30 minutes. I can live with that. All right, thank you all for watching, and I will be live on my YouTube channel every day in November for 15 minutes or so, most of the time with cute little projects. I'm planning to go live from my events just to say hello, but that's kind of a challenge for me to be able to come up with cute, fast stuff that I can share with everybody as we're getting close to the holidays. We're calling it Craftimber, and I'll be in collaboration with some other creatives, and I'll share all of that in the video description. So make sure to check that out. I'd love to know what you thought about this project. If you have requests or ideas for another project, I'd love to know that too. Thank you all. Have a great night.